क्या बोल रहा
चलो गाइस स्टार्ट करें। आ गई क्या दोनों टीम?
Hi, sir. Yeah. Our team is there.
योर टीम इज देयर। अच्छा। व्हाट
We are waiting for
अबाउट
marketing.
मार्केटिंग? दीप इज देयर।
Ishika Vaibhavi is there, and
प्रशांत। प्रशांत है ना दीप? ये देखो प्रशांत भी आ गया। ऑल राइट।
आगे
जजेस हैं क्या? मैत्री है, सैफ है, सुमित सुमित है, मैत्री एंड सैफ।
सैफ नहीं आया सर। अभी मैत्री मैम है।
कॉल कर सैफ को, देख कितना दूर है।
हाँ सर।
So I'm there. I'm there.
मैत्री इज देयर। मैत्री इज देयर।
Yeah, I'm there.
अभय भी है। अभय को बनाए क्या जज?
आ रहा है सर सैफ, 2 मिनट में।
2 मिनट। वो लगा दे, इमेज लगा दे, इमेज। किसके पास है वो इमेज? ये देखो सैफ भी आ गया। इमेज लगा, इमेज। डिबेट का इमेज किसके पास है? दीप तुम्हारे पास है क्या?
एक मिनट सर।
डिबेट का इमेज किसी के पास नहीं है।
नहीं नहीं, मैं लगाता हूँ। मैं लगाता
Deep sir, I've हाँ.
स्टार्ट करें?
हाँ सर, स्टार्ट।
Okay. So the topic for today's debate is, will banning tips based on target prices and stop loss help or hurt the market? So the general opinion across the world about India is that Indians by nature are very fatalistic in their attitude towards life. They are always looking for somebody else to give them advice, to give them direction, whether it is Godman or whether it is, you know, Ayurvedic doctors, or whether it is the stock market. They are always looking for somebody else to take responsibility for the decisions that they are making in life, right? Stock market, again, like I said, is one of those aspects where we are continuously looking for somebody to give us tips, somebody to give us direction, how we pick and how we make decisions about our finances. One of the things that has significantly impacted our decision making are tips that we get either from newspapers or from media or from even experts that we believe know more than us. While the reality of the stock market is absolutely nobody knows more than anybody else about where the market is headed at any given time. No matter how much you study, no matter how much you learn, market is always driven by the by the motivation and the desire of entrepreneurs who are always looking to change direction and always looking to introduce new pivot points in the direction of businesses and economies. So keeping that in mind, since stock tips have become a very big impactor of the stock market in India, today we want to question whether it is a good practice or a bad practice, whether it helps us or it really hurts us when it comes to making financial decisions. With that in mind, we have the marketing team and the customer service team that are going to debate about this topic. This is the first of the eliminators in our, while we are deciding who should be the winner of this competition. This is the first of those eliminators. I wish best of luck to both the teams. So, marketing team is going to explain to us how it hurts the market to have stock tips and stop losses, while the customer service team is going to explain to us how it actually helps us in stabilizing our decision process. All the best to both the teams. Let's get started.
Thank you, sir. So, let me share the screen.
Are you going to play one of the videos?
Shaunak, do you have the video handy?
The corporate one, right?
Either anyone.
Either one is fine.
Just a minute. It's not open from my side.
No sound. No sound, Shaunak. Shaunak, share again with sound.
I am not sharing this.
Lakshmi is sharing. Lakshmi, no sound.
Is the sound was not proper or isn't it was not coming at all?
You
It
have
is
to
not at all
share
coming.
screen. When you share your screen, there is an option to share sound. You have to select that option for the sound to get through. On the right hand side, there's an option when it asks you to
Yes.
share screen. Yeah.
Yes.
Did you know that the common man of today leads a better lifestyle than the kings and queens of 100 years ago? Not because he has as much money as they did, but because of innovations and advancements in technology and society. These advancements promise better health, better hygiene, and better diet to the common man than the kings of the past had. This is the true advantage of innovations brought about by positive business processes. The Indian stock market represents one such positive business process. Come to Dozen Diamonds, where we have dared to imagine an Indian stock market where the retail investor can invest without anxiety about the market volatility, where investor does not wonder about idiosyncratic behavior of company leaders and instead focuses on the productivity of its employees, where he looks forward to invest in the company he loves and believes in, where he recognizes that he is in control of the future of companies he invests in, rather than trying to predict it. We believe such a stock market will bring financial well-being to the life of every Indian. Dozen Diamonds aims to simplify the market with our unique stressless trading method. Whether you're just starting out or already experienced, we aim to bring you technologies which will make investing easy so you can focus on your goals, not the guesswork. Now imagine this. You invest in a company, it grows, it hires, it innovates, it pays better, it shines brighter. And you earn and grow not just with higher returns, but with better pay and better living standards. The stock market may rise and fall, but the vision must stay steady. With dozen diamonds, right strategy, smart recovery from any losses, and patience, you can invest without stress. So ask yourself, where should your money sleep? In a locker of gold or in the engine of a growing India? Invest in Indian businesses. Fuel the future. Turn your capital into a catalyst. Because for your participation in the stock market to be consistent, it needs to be stressless, following the dozen diamonds principles of investing. The growth of the country lies in your investment in the stock market. In the growth of your country lies your growth. Dozen Diamonds empowers every investor to achieve financial freedom through stressless investing, helping drive India forward on its path to becoming a developed nation. By building a country of investors, Dozen Diamonds strives to lead India to be the Vishwa Guru of 21st century.
All right, guys. Let's get
Focus.
going.
Yeah, marketing team is gonna start. Deep
Okay.
sir.
So is the screen visible?
Yes, yes. Please go ahead.
Okay. So the question is, will banning all target prices and stop loss tips help or hurt the market? We are for hurt the market. It will definitely hurt the market. The first question is, what are the primary motivations behind the practice of using target prices and stop loss orders in trading? So let's understand. Let's begin with target prices. In FactSet's earnings insight report, analysts publish 12-month target prices that form a bottom-up target, which means it depends on the fundamentals of the company rather than on the market trends. And it has been conducted for the S&P 500. The chart in this report actually shows two lines: the projected target price and the actual index movement. By this is a bar chart also, and by comparing these two curves, we see that target prices provide a structured benchmark that helps investors frame risk and reward and prevents emotion-driven trading. Now, let's examine another experiment. It was conducted by the University of Constance. That is the effect. I mean, the experiment was on disposition effect. In simple words, it is the tendency to sell winners too early or winning positions too early and hold losing positions too long. So this graph actually plots the cumulative distribution of disposition effect across three groups: no limit group, that is without any target price and stop loss; a limit group with target price and stop loss; and a reminder group, that is without any strict rule with soft reminders. The solid line that we see actually shifts clearly to the right, meaning higher disposition effect values and more emotional mistakes. The dashed line, as we see with target price group, shifts sharply towards the left, showing far lower disposition effect values. And of course, the middle one, the dotted line, sits in between. The visual shift proves that predefined exits, target price, and stop losses meaningfully reduce emotional behavior. And of course, it is completely evident from the figure. So predefined exit matters a lot. And then coming to another figure, that is under the same market condition and identical price movements, as we see that most points fall below the 45-degree line. Okay, so
I'm getting a little confused here. Is the marketing team saying that it hurts the market to have stop losses and tips or helps the market?
It hurts the market if we ban the stop losses and the target prices.
Acha. Okay, got it. Got it. Continue. Yeah.
Uh, Now, this figure actually just falling in line, even D with targets is consistently lower than D without targets, without target prices, even when the market behaves exactly the same. So the improvement comes from the rule, from target price and exit rules, not from the market condition. And then this one, that is the PLR, proportion of losers realized. It shows that it increases, meaning traders finally book losses when needed. And PWR, proportion of winners realized, stays stable, meaning they continue taking healthy profits. So together, it shows that targets reduce the disposition effect by creating a balanced exit strategy. Now, let's consider another example from JP Morgan. They applied a 5% stop loss overlay to the Carhart momentum strategy. And as the table clearly shows, that annual returns rising from 4.6 to 8.8%, Sharp ratio improving from 0.27 to 0.64, and maximum drawdown shrinking from minus 57.6% to 25.8%. So these data points visually demonstrate how stop losses cut tail risk dramatically. And
30 seconds more.
okay, and JP Morgan's multi-asset test across equities, bonds, commodities, and FX shows the same result. So stop loss overlays cut tail risk, drawdowns shrink dramatically. So these are the primary motivations validated, that it counters emotional trading, enforces discipline, pre-planned decision making, reduces drawdown, protects capital, anchors expectations, increases consistency, and promote healthier, more stable market behavior.
Okay,
Thank
time up. Time.
Just a moment.
You go ahead, customer service team.
Hmm. I'll share my screen. Yeah. Can you guys see my screen?
Not yet.
Not yet?
Yeah, now we can see.
Yeah. So again, the topic being the same, why banning all the tips based on target matches and SL help or hurt the market? We are in the favor of helping the market. So first question remains the same, primary motivators behind the practice of using target price and SL orders. I feel like we have to divide the people into two segments to actually understand why do people do this. What is the primary motivators? So there are two parties involved. First one is the people who give advice. What is it in for them? And the one who takes it. Why do users take it? So recommending are generally known as advisors or sell side analysts. And you can see that's how typically we are given advices on a lot of platforms. Even that is bifurcated into some credible platforms or semi research analysts. Plus, there are a lot of tips that is circulating around Insta, social media. Influencers are there today who talks about what to buy, what to have to create wealth. The second one is the accepting people, which are users, which are common people like you and me who accept it. So this was today's recommendation, which was in Times of India. So what is the primary motivation for advisors, the people who recommend it? Why do they give the recommendation? The main reason goes is to increase the volatility. If you see here, analysts, there are these are proven studies and proven data which shows that analysts recommend increased trading volume by 22 to 35% in the next 3 days of the release. Whenever they tell you a buy or a sell or a hold one, that stock will trade more than the normal stock. And these are some studies and the links are there for those studies to verify it. everyone says the same thing. So I have taken the stock in the past year which have been recommended the most, which was Bajaj Finance in India, was the most recommended stock from all the brokerages. I've gone through a number of brokerages, and this was the one, and I have taken the data, and I have gone to see the share prices among different trades. After the sell ratings, there was a sudden increase in the way shares were trading. So this is the Bloomberg data for Bajaj Finserv for a very long time, and this was just the day after it was given a buy call, and you can see there was a sharp increase in it. So that is the second reason. That is the primary reason to increase the brokerage. And the second reason, if they are going to increase the volume, which will directly related to how their brokerage will be increased. Client engagement is increased, their transaction volume is increased, which eventually results in more brokerages, and they can also track their data very nicely, and all of those things. This has been proved by these two studies. So if you see the commission line, all the states have the commission line which has been decreasing. But if you see the commission line, the data is for US, because in India we cannot really find the data. It has been increasing over the years. And if you see the very traditional patterns in mutual fund, is that we don't follow the mutual funds. We kind of follow the analyst, how the analyst perform. If the analyst moves to another firm, we tend to fluctuate with those kind of funds. We tend to shift to that fund, which is a recent pattern that has been seen in India. And if you guys remember, there has been a case study which has been done by DD team also, which stayed where there was a practice which was being done in DD group, where every day, or at least on alternate days or on some days, there used to be a photo of recommendation that some of you would send from daffodils, and then just what 10-15 days back, we collected all the data. We have gone through that, and we have checked how much those uh, stop losses and target price were actually true. So it has been shown that these are the people. So I have not taken the names of the company they are associated with. These
Half
are
a
the name of
million.
the people. Yeah. So these are the name of people, and we see most of them cannot even perform well for that time period. So it's not like giving, if they are giving the recommendation, it is going to be true. It is just to drive the volume up, they are going to do that. Now, what are the motivations for users? They do, when you are a new user, you don't really have the idea what to do, how to do to lessen your analytical tools. And we also lack a lot of valuation model,
Time up.
interesting model, and all of that. Yeah, so that's the reason why why there is a need for stop losses and target practice. Thank you. Yeah, that's it from my side, anyways.
Chalo, rebuttal, marketing team.
So, Richa, you mentioned that whatever data points you mentioned, it reflected that it increases the brokerage, right?
Correct.
And also, it also enhances the volatility. That's
Correct.
that's the summary of the data points that you have mentioned. And so, in other words, you're saying that if target prices and stop losses are banned, then it would actually reduce volatility, and it would also keep a check on the brokerage as well.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, yeah, it would definitely reduce the volatility. I mean,
You are
if
giving up your
human,
time, Deep. You're
so,
giving up
so in other words, you're saying that it will keep a check on the brokerage, which means that again brokers won't get motivated, and they will certainly find other routes and channels to channelize and provide services to their clients through, of course, unofficial channels and channels that are not regulated by SEBI. So it's not actually clear to me how it will help the market, because there is no certain connection between your data and any proof point that it can help the market. Your data points show that it can increase the brokerage or increasing the brokerage, or it enhances the volatility, but it
Deep, you
exactly
have to
doesn't
let me.
demonstrate.
Yeah.
No, no, this is our time. You can't speak.
Okay.
So there is no certain evidence that actually it can help the market if these target prices and, let's say, stop losses are banned from the market. So there is no correlation between your data and what you're trying to prove. That's what I would like to say, because that is the summary of whatever you have delivered. Yeah.
So okay, point taken. But my question was, what was the primary motivation behind the practice of using target price and SL order in trading? I didn't have to prove it is wrong. My arguments have to give a strong, precedence to what we will be proving, that it will help the market. But I didn't have to prove in the first question itself that it is wrong. But all my data points says that yes, if we will do this, maybe things will change for better. And that was the question. I didn't have My question didn't say prove that it will help the market. My question
Uh,
was on how, what is the primary motivations. And look, if you have to get to the conclusion yes it will help the market if we will ban it, we have to at least look at the motivations. No, what motivates it? Why do people
but
do it?
these
You
are
are
not,
doing it
there
for
is no
some reason.
certain data point that validates the motivations. There is no
There are
increase in
so many studies.
brokerage. No, just
One
a moment.
person at a time, please. You have
Increase
your own time.
increase in brokerage.
Hold
Yes.
on, Deep. Deep,
Okay.
you've given up your time. Now it is
Okay.
Richard's time to speak. Let her continue.
Yes, there were so many studies which tells you that as soon as you give a buy, sell, hold recommendation, see a lot of you automatically see a lot of increase in the volume of the company. And it is not me telling, there are a lot of studies which also tells us it creates artificial volatility, it's create artificial price points. It is not true. See, that's the herding thing that happens. You know Adani, right? You know the Heidenberg saga happened. We know Adani has a very strong hold book, but just because Heidenberg came with one thing, it fell down to so many things. What happened? That's just the reason. And you tell me one thing, right? All these stockbrokers that we are talking about, the one that I was showing you with very credible source, they give you this particular recommendation. They give you one stop loss. They give you one target point. How will one stop loss work for you and for me? I don't think so. My risk appetite and your risk appetite is same. Then how are you justifying giving one target price and one stop loss for everyone? I That concept in itself is very oblivious to me, that I don't understand. For me, I cannot take a loss of 15 rupees, but you were able to take it. But the target stop loss says that the loss you take 15 rupees. The sole purpose this was started to increase the brokerage, to keep the brokers engaged. It also increase the credibility of the brokerage. Every time it is right, it is also one of the marketing strategy that they use. I'm not telling it's a great marketing strategy. See, if you are telling more of it is correct, then you will get a good brokerage. People will come to you. See, visibility is a very important thing in whatever you do. That is what is marketing. So that is also one way how they market their things, and the way how much they are right.
Okay,
Okay, I
time up.
want to add to what
Time up.
Rich.
Yeah.
Time up for both the teams. Audience, please pitch in. What did you feel? How did you feel about the?
Sir, I have not done the rebuttal for
No,
Deep's.
you used your time for rebuttal. I gave you the time.
Okay.
Okay, Deep, you showed one chart about the DE thing, right? DE. You can just
D,
show me the
correct.
chart. Yeah. What is that? I didn't understand that chart basically.
Yeah,
So
same.
you can just tell me what was that exactly you were trying to explain.
Sure. Uh, but somehow I'm not able to share. I don't know why. Uh, Vaibhavi, can you share this PPT?
Yes, just a second. Which chart?
The D one, the disposition effect. Uh, yes, this one, right?
No, no, one more was the points. Some dots were there on that.
Dots were there. Okay, 45-degree one.
Mhm.
Next one, this one.
Yeah, this one, this one.
This
So can you just make it full screen?
You want to see the first chart?
No, no, make it full screen.
the full
Same
screen.
chart.
Oh, may I make it full screen? Yeah.
Full screen. Full screen.
I guess present is there on the right hand side. Right. So what? See, all the points are below the line. Okay, there's a line in between. All the points are below the line. So what does this mean? Most of the 90% of the points.
Right. So it means that the target sample with disposition effect, actually with target prices, is actually consistently lower than disposition with the sample size without target prices and stop losses. So even when under the same market condition, so two sample groups, one with target price and stop loss, another without. Okay, but as you see that the D with target prices, the sample group with target prices is actually consistently lower than D without target prices. So under the same market condition, so the actually it there is an improvement, right? And this improvement is coming from the rules, the target price and stop losses, not from the
Do you mean
market
that
condition.
DE limit treatment and down is DE no limit treatment? So
Right.
no limit treatment means there is no target and no stop loss. Correct? That's the meaning of it.
Correct.
And limit
Correct.
treatment includes a target and a stop. So
Right.
you mean when people used a target or a stop loss, okay, then the points are not going towards it. That's what it means.
Now, when people are are using target price and stop loss, okay, even that without compared to the sample size without target price and stop losses, you can see the disposition effect. Disposition effect is actually consistently lower for the group, those who are using target price and stop loss.
What do you mean by disposition effect?
Disposition effect is actually the tendency. It's actually a bias in investing, wherein retail investors tend to sell winning positions too early and hold losing positions for too long. So that is called, that phenomenon or the tendency is called disposition effect.
So in this case, people without a stop loss and target is tend to hold their positions longer. Do you mean that?
uh, Actually, people without target prices and stop losses, yes, actually, what is happening? They are showing lower disposition. I mean, uh, it's like the tendency is higher. The For the sample size without target prices and stop loss, tendency, the disposition effect tendency is higher compared to the sample size with target prices and stop loss.
So
So,
if I just cut
so
it
in
short,
simple
okay.
words, in simple words, the sample size who are without any target price and stop loss, they tend to show more disposition effect. The
Means they
tendency
tend to hold the positions longer. That is the result. Correct?
they tend to sell more often and losing positions for too long for those who don't have target price and stop loss.
Okay. Anyways,
Okay. So the question still remains, why are they not being able to come up with their own target prices and stop losses? Why do they have to depend upon a third party? What is the difference between the two cases? Them coming up with their own stop losses versus them coming up with
No,
the
they don't have any stop loss or target price. One sample size. They are actually just without any restriction. They're just playing. They're trading.
Okay, so I guess the question of the debate is slightly different, right? Question of the debate is that why do those stop loss and target prices have to come from a third party? Why can't they come up with their own stop losses and target prices? Because what you are showing is anybody who does not have anything is in trouble, right? But
The data
uh,
shows that, yes.
Correct.
but what about the fact that somebody can come up with his own stop loss and target prices versus getting recommendations from a third party? I mean,
So
nobody is
maybe.
saying you should not have a target price or stop loss. That is
Hmm,
probably not the purpose of the debate. Nobody is saying that you should not have
Hmm.
your own stop losses and target prices.
right.
Just don't expect somebody else to give them to you. That's
Hmm.
the real question of the
Exactly.
I
debate.
think it's a herd mentality,
Right.
right? They're following the herd. That's why, yeah.
But what is the motivation behind the hurt? Why do people do
Herd
it?
mentality, of course, that another person has won, or maybe he has uh, got some profit. So maybe I can also win. So some people have heard from somebody, maybe broker, maybe his friend, that this person has purchased a stock and has made a lot of money. So why not me? So these kind of inspirations and motivations play behind all
No,
this.
but I mean, everybody
No.
knows, right? I mean, one fact is established that
Right.
absolutely nobody knows where the future is headed.
Mhm.
Right.
Right.
With that, it's almost like we are treating these experts as godmen,
Mm.
right?
Right. Right.
I mean, is that how can that be good for the market? I'm just curious.
Mm.
I mean, I don't want to come strongly on one side or the other side. I'm just genuinely
Uh,
asking a question.
right. Right. So a lot of traders. I mean, I have also traded once. What I have understood actually, that a lot of traders actually they want to make quick money. That is also one of the, I mean, motivations
I mean, is it
behind.
fair to call them traders? Or should we just
Uh,
call them gamblers at that point?
Gamblers, right? Gamblers. So to just for a quick fix, actually, they want an advisor, whether regulated or unregulated. It doesn't matter to them, and then they fall into these target prices and stop losses instead of setting their own. So that is also there.
But
I think
again,
getting a
the
stock is a part of the process. It's not just
Hmm.
like getting a target price and stop loss for every stock. The expert is also choosing the stock for you, right?
Right, right. Mm.
So when the debate is focused on stop losses and target prices, that is just half the story. The other half of the story is somebody else is picking your stocks for you, right?
Right, right. Because the trader or the investor, he doesn't know. I mean, he doesn't study the fundamentals of the company. He doesn't know in and out all those, so he doesn't have confidence.
But I
He
mean, who knows? Nobody knows.
they think that
Just reading an annual report does not give you too much of an idea of what is going on. Right?
right, right. That is also true.
Mhm.
Yeah, but
Correct.
how? And also we know valuations are not actually justified. We are just finding ways to justify it. It is not justified.
If you read the annual report yourself
Hmm.
Hmm.
and you conclude that you think you know where things are headed, that is definitely your choice. But
Hmm.
Yes, correct.
for you to say that I'm going to rely on a third party as an expert, I mean, there's no science behind market. At least that's my feeling.
Exactly. Though the people who rely on third party are the ones who don't really read the annual reports. That is the main reason. That is one of the reason why they rely on third party, or more sort of the people who comes from brokerages or sell side
All right,
analysts.
cool. So we had a very honest discussion in the audience segment. That was great. Let's move to the second question because I'm sure this is going to be even more fun as we go on.
Sir,
Yeah.
one question remained. I just wanted to ask to Deep.
Mhm.
That Deep, you also showed the that bond in one of your slides. So, I did not get understand that what is the significance of a stop loss in bonds, basically.
चलो
Across
बाद में देखते हैं इसको.
across
We'll come
multiple
back to this
assets.
question.
Okay, okay, okay.
Let us move. Yeah. Go ahead. Second question. Start.
So the question is, how do target prices and stop loss orders impact market volatility and investor behavior? Target prices anchor expectations. FactSet's index level aggregate indicates bottoms up target price for the SP 500. This creates a shared expectation corridor. So when the index gets below this corridor, investors perceive undervaluation. When it trades above, they expect mean revision. The graph of the actual index versus the target corridor shows how target prices stabilize expectations rather than amplify noise. Impact is more data driven decisions and soften long term sentiment driven volatility. As per behavioral finance evidence, the disposition effect research, like Deep already mentioned, it shows that the disposition effect is when traders without predefined targets sell winners too early and hold losing positions for too long. Now, as per the University of Constance, in this scatter plot comparing disposition effect values with and without target prices and stop loss, it shows most of the dots lying under the 45-degree line. This shows that even with identical price movements, investors and target prices and stop loss have lower disposition effect scores. Discipline comes from the rule itself and not from the market condition. The impact is less impulsive trading, better risk alignment, and reduced micro level emotional volatility. Again, target price revisions guide price discovery. A study of 4,198 target price revisions in Taiwan shows measurable changes in the net buying and selling around revision announcements. Tables and cumulative trading charts indicate over orderly reactions.
So,
Upward revision.
Vaishnavi, do we know that these are cases where people set their own target price, or did somebody set it for them? Do we know? Is there a differentiation between the two cases? Or is
I
it the
think.
same thing?
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think it is when people set it for them.
Okay. All right.
Upward revisions generate net buying while downward revisions create net selling. So the finding is target price revisions carry information content guiding price discovery instead of creating chaotic volatility. The impact on volatility is very short term, yet it's information driven and not emotionally induced. Stop loss orders reduce tail risk volatility. This is as per the JP Morgan study in the Carhart's momentum factor. They applied a 5% stop loss that produced a maximum drawdown from 57.6% from minus 57.6% to minus 25.8% with the Sharpe ratio going from 0.27 to 2.64. The data table shows equity curve becoming dramatically smoother and stop loss orders materially reduce tail risk volatility. That shows fewer forced liquidations, fewer volatility shock events, and more stable long term returns. So, as per this case study experiment by Constance, it demonstrates that traders with predefined exits exhibit significantly less disposition effect, more balanced gain loss realization, and less hold and hope behavior. This reduces panic exits, emotional behavior, and major contributors to retail driven volatility. A second real data set from a UK study conducted on 65,233 round trip positions show at the same outcome. Traders using stop losses to avoid large loss clusters and show lower behavioral volatility span. So, the conclusion is that the target prices will provide structure, anchor expectations, and smooth long term sentiment scatters, while stop loss orders will protect capital, uh, protect capital, in a way reduce drawdowns and lower tail risk volatility. So the final takeaway is that the target prices create expectation stability, stop losses create risk stability, and together they drive more discipline and less volatile market behavior.
Okay, time up. Go ahead, customer service team.
यस सर। स्क्रीन शेयर बंद करना वैभव भी। हेलो
वैभव भी स्क्रीन शेयर बंद करो।
So the question is, how do target prices and stop loss orders affect market volatility and investor behavior? First, we will see that why stop loss and target price tips harm the market. When someone broadcasts a target price or stop loss tip to thousands of traders, something predictable happens. Everyone enters at the same price, everyone takes profit at the same target, and everyone exits at the same stop loss. This is not natural market movement, it's synchronized human reaction. And synchronized reaction create artificial volatility. Instead of thinking, people start reacting. Instead of research, they just follow the instructions. Discipline goes down and emotions go up. There is one target price case study. Case study name is Impact of Target Prices on Equity Volatility. In 2022, Han and his team studied what happens when analysts publish new target prices in equity market. The results were crystal clear. The moment a target price is announced, the stock jumps sharply. Trading activity surges and volatility shoots up within minutes. But the jump doesn't last. Within days or weeks, the price quietly drifts back down. This proves something very important. The spike wasn't caused by fundamental, it was caused by emotion. Target price mislead investor. They create excitement, noise, and short-term mispricing that the market later corrects. There is one more study called Stop Loss Orders and Forced Selling in Equity. In this, Richard and his team looked at thousands of equity traders and found something many of us have seen. Stop loss usually trigger during normal price movement. Think of it like the stock dips a little, hits the stop loss, the trader gets forced out at a loss, and right after that, the stock recovers. We have all seen this happen. The studies show that stop loss based tips don't protect retail traders, they often push them into losses that didn't need to happen. There are some Indian examples of retail losses due to tip based manipulation. We have seen the Avdut Sate case. In this, the target prices and stop loss order affect market volatility and investor behavior. In the Avdut Sate case, lakhs of traders were acting on identical target price and stop loss calls. That created herd behavior and artificial price movement, exactly the kind of volatility we are talking about. There is one more case in which the Hyderabad case shows that behavioral damage. When traders follow fixed target price and stop loss levels blindly, they stop thinking rationally and take impulsive high risk decisions. There is one more SEBI case when SEBI crackdown on WhatsApp and Telegram groups confirms that mass target price and stop loss tips cause artificial price movement and repeated retail losses. So both volatility and behavior distortions are clearly visible in real market, in real Indian market, proving the questions directly. There are some research of investor behavior distortions. Barber and Odeon research showed that overconfident traders trades too much and lost money. Target prices fit this overconfidence. Analysts say it will reach 500, so it must reach 500. Next, the 2024 attention study shows that bold numbers like a target price instantly grab attentions. And when attentions attention spikes, the impulsive decisions also follow. Then we have prospect theory, which explains that losing hurts twice as much winning feels good. When a stop loss gets hit, that pain triggers loss chasing, jumping back into trades emotionally. There are SEBI findings which confirm that SEBI enforcement report shows something alarming. Most action target unregistered tip providers, and almost all of them use target price and stop loss tips. SEBI found that these tips are used to herd retail investor, making their action predictable. And predictable investors are easy to exploit. But here the most shocking numbers are 92% of traders who followed tip-based calls lost money. And also around 97% of SEBI actions are on tip providers who gives tips on stop loss and target prices. This is real damage happening every day. Now, why banning tip-based stop loss and target price helps? So removing these tips will reduce artificial volatility and herd reaction. It will reduce emotional trading and also protect small investors from manipulation and push people towards research instead of shortcuts. What we are banning is the mass broadcasting of this number, the misguidance and mass herdings. We are not banning tools, we are banning mass tips that misuse these tools and harm retail investors. So my final conclusion is target price and stop loss based tips may look harmless, but research, real data, and behavioral studies and SEBI own finding all show the same thing. These tips mislead retail investors, increase volatility, and weaken market stability. A safe, strong, mature equity market is to build on research, not on mass WhatsApp tips. Thank you.
All right. So who's next?
Both of them are done, na? Vaibhavi and
तो ठीक है
Yes,
वेट
yes.
करते हैं इसका ऑडियंस का
So I,
so rebuttal.
अच्छा रिबटल है दोनों का चलो अच्छा रिबटल करते हैं
so Kunal, in most of your studies, you constantly mentioned that there was a lot of hoarding that was visible. But if we say that target prices create hoarding, most of our data, the FactSet data, the Taiwan study showed that the reactions were orderly. Whenever there were upward revisions, there was net buying. Whenever there were downward revisions, there was net selling. So this is more about the mindset than actual reaction to the uh, target prices and the stop loss, because hoarding is mostly an emotional behavior that comes up, and the mindset won't change because they would still resort to unregulated channels. So banning target prices or stop loss won't help. What do you think?
What I feel is, Vaibhavi, what you are telling is kind of not true, because herding, that's what we are trying to prove. If we are giving one particular target price, they are actually going into herding mentality. And imagine there is a stock price, and if all of us will have same stop loss and every order will trigger, how are they gonna adjust all the orders? What if there are not enough buyers for that price? It will obviously break down to a low, right, which was not expected by the stock itself. And that's what we mean, that it will create artificial pricings, mislead the volatility. That's how it manipulates the market. That's what have been.
Also, yeah.
And when everyone puts the same stop loss and target price, now the market behaves as an artificial. It's not based on the fundamentals, which I have proved.
So banning target price and stop losses actually won't help the market in a way that if they are not getting advice from let's say any advisor, so they will resort to unregulated channels as it is already existing. So that won't remove the I would say the herd mentality. Uh,
we,
uh,
we are talking about a very different thing. We are not talking about not having stop loss or not having target. We are talking about something tips based target and tips based
Tips
stop.
yes,
based.
I am
Right.
So
talking about
one thing
tips
I would
based
like
tool.
to say,
I am
one
talking
thing I
about
would like,
Okay, so the Vaibhavi mentioned that having tips like creates volatility in the market, but market volatility can introduce several biases in investment decisions like bias, herding bias, overconfidence bias, and there are several studies that had proved that volatility-driven biases creates false confidence and can lead to financial losses. So how can volatility be helpful for the traders?
Exactly. We are talking about.
Volatility is not helpful for the traders. What I am saying is tips test target price and stop losses. If let's say if we remove the or let's say ban them, even if we ban them, the mindset is not going to change.
No, but you don't know that. You don't know that. We have not
No,
tested. There is no
it's
proof.
already
Please show me.
it
Please
has
show me
been
the
एक
proof.
tested.
एक बंदा यार, एक बंदा क्या है ऐसा, क्या जल्दी क्या है?
We know that finally from two inferences. One is already there are existing channels, unregulated channels. It's happening right in front of you. Second is there have been
अच्छा,
studies.
now we are switching to rebuttal time of the customer service team. Customer service team, you have control of the mic. Whatever you want to do, you are free to
Yeah.
do.
Let's.
You go ahead, Richard.
So there was this point where you talk about one thing where you also talk about disposition effect, right?
Right.
So how? But our
One
point
thing
is,
about
yeah,
disposition effect, one thing about disposition effect that there were no clearly defined x-axis and y-axis on the
correct.
disposition effect. That's one thing. So that we didn't understood about that. Then the second point where we mentioned is like it creates volatility. About volatility, I have already mentioned ki it creates certain biasness. As you said, Roy sir, ki there like whenever there is target price and like people follow target prices and stop loss given by the tips being given by the tips, they do it in a herding kind of behavior occurs in the market, right, which is which implicates the false performance of this stock market. So in these cases also there are several studies that has proven ki in these cases many traders have lost their money.
Correct. And we all know that the whenever we talk about data in CFAs or whenever we are trying, the sample size matters. There is no way of telling what was the sample size, how is the alpha, what is the skewness, how is the kurtosis actually impacting sample size. That's something was never mentioned when you are trying to discuss the graphs. So
So graphs x-axis and y-axis were clearly mentioned, and Adrian asked us, right? So we explained it to him. The x-axis and the y-axis, everything has been mentioned.
what was it? Can you please repeat?
Of course. So in the x-axis,
एक बार फिर से दिखा दे ना, फिर से दिखा दे.
can you show it, Vaibhavi?
Yes, I'm sharing. Also, Deep, your voice is a little low. Can you please
Okay.
adjust the
Right.
mic?
Okay.
So which are all of their graphs and all they show now, they have already shown us in the first question as well. So
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
This one
But
you are talking about, right?
yeah, disposition, correct. But
Right.
see, that's the point we are gonna prove. If one stop loss will not work for everyone, how can one target will work for anyone else also? For me, if I have taken a stock XYZ 200, I feel like if I get a 400 price, I am good. I need the money for something. But someone XYZ who has a different risk appetite, different holding period, different kind of a need, he
So
can
it
wait
doesn't.
till
I understood.
600.
I understood.
Yeah. So
But
how
it
can
doesn't mention the same target price and the stop loss. You
but the
understand?
tips that you get are based on the same
No,
it
no.
gives you one whenever.
It is not a study based on same target price and stop loss. Rather,
But that
it's based on those people with target prices and without target price and stop loss. Right?
but
that's the main thing. Like
Okay,
we are
rebuttal
talking
time
about
up,
the tip.
rebuttal time up,
Yeah.
rebuttal time up, audience time starts. You know, I'm sincerely confused about why there's so much confusion about interpreting the topic, right?
yes.
Firstly, I mean, of course, I'm just a part of the audience. So, firstly, Deep talked about this disposition effect not being being based on independent decisions that every trader has made. It is not that they are driven by a single stop loss or single target price. On the other hand, when Vaibhavi was talking about it, she was claiming that they all had the same, they were using a third party to give them target prices and stop losses.
Plus,
It's creating a little bit of confusion as to what exactly the data represents.
Target prices and stop losses, actually, it is not mentioned in the study that they.
Sorry,
Then it
Roy,
sounds
your
like
voice is
that
your
not
voice is very low, Deep.
Okay. Now, is it
typically
fine? Is it better?
मिला है.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. Okay.
So,
So, right.
once we conclude that the target price and stop losses are not given by a third party, then essentially that study is not relevant for this topic.
So it is like target price and stop losses. For one sample size, there is no target price and stop loss. Means they are doing it on
That's
their
what I'm
own.
saying, na? This is not relevant for today's topic. Of course,
No,
nobody is saying you should not have target prices or stop losses for your trades. Nobody is challenging that. You are
exactly.
free to do whatever you want to do, right? But when
no.
you start using a third party
Hmm, hmm.
who is publicly announcing their target price and stop losses, and when you start following them blindly, that is the part that is being questioned, right?
Right. So one sample size, they are doing it on their own. Another sample, so that's why it created the confusion. Another sample size, they are not doing it on their own. They have somebody to help them with the target price and stop losses. So
Then
that
Abir should not have said
Okay,
it,
hold
no,
on,
that
hold on,
it's a
hold on. Let him finish. I kind of like. Okay, so you actually had 3 sample sets, right?
3 sample sets.
Okay.
Right. One is with a target price and stop loss. Another is without, and another is like they are given simple reminders without any rules, which means you can exit now, something like that. That kind of reminder. So 3 groups actually, 3 sample audiences.
Okay. Okay. All right. I was thinking there were only there were only 2 cases. But anyway, so since we are in the audience period, probably you can revisit the result of that study. Can you discuss the result once more? Yeah.
Sure. So, Vaibhavi, can you please share the screen?
Yes, just a minute. The facts are data, right?
Right. And no, not this one. This is S&P 500. The next one, 45-degree, I think. Yeah. This one we are talking about.
but isn't
This one you were talking about, right, Richa?
No, just like you said, there were 3 samples. So where are
Okay, so
3
the
samples?
first that is included in the fast answer. The fast answer.
Is it
My
there?
answer.
Oh yeah.
I think that same thing has been mentioned in the second question as well. If we move,
Yeah, but there were like
Yeah,
different
this one.
graph
These are
details.
right.
Here? Or just the graph?
The graphs.
That's it? Okay.
but that's what no disposition would how would disposition be same
अरे
for
पहले
everyone?
दिखाने तो दो यार रिजल्ट्स पहले से ही मेरे को समझ में नहीं आ रहा रिजल्ट कौन से वो 3 लाइंस वाला ग्राफ
Vaibhav,
कहाँ है
slide
जो
11.
दिखा रहा था
It's slide 11, Vaibhav.
Just the previous one. When I started off.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect.
Yes.
Correct.
Wait,
Right.
this was your slide, no, Deep?
Right. This
But
was
we
my
are
slide.
talking about Vaibhavi's slide. Vaibhavi didn't show
So,
this one.
no, I showed this one, and there is a correlation because she also showed that 45-degree one.
But
That
okay,
was
so that was not okay. Correct, agreed. But that was not which was transpired when Vaibhavi was explaining. That is the point. Either you are correlating it wrong, either you
no,
were
no,
not
no.
able to explain it properly because we didn't think it was correlated to this. That was not what she said while
Okay,
explaining. That's why
that
there is so much of confusion.
okay, that comes from the same experiment, this experiment only. And Vaibhavi, if you scroll down,
I did mention that it was the same experiment that
same
Deep
experiment,
had. Yeah, I started off with that, Richa. I think you were not
right,
listening.
I don't
right.
know. Everyone is confused.
No,
Yeah,
Everyone is
I'm also
Vaibhavi,
confused.
if you can scroll down, 45-degree, that one, that graph, just yeah, this one, right? Same thing Vaibhavi had shown, same thing.
But that's my okay. My confusion still remains that disposition is different from people, right?
No, this comes from the same experiment and across three sample groups.
Okay, Deep, just tell me one thing. One is no limit treatment, others limit treatment, and others reminder treatment. What
Correct.
is this reminder treatment? Can you just tell
Reminder
me?
treatment, which means will be reminded of that they can exit or they can fix a price, but without any stringent rule. I mean, somebody won't fix a target price, something like that. You can exit now, something like that.
No, no.
So that's why the
Okay.
reminder
You
sample
mean,
size.
okay, they can take a position, okay, and then later on they'll be reminded to when they have to exit.
When they have to exit, but there is no strict rule here.
Okay. I guess Nishant had a question, the last thing. Nishant, if you want to ask that. Bond.
You asked about JP Morgan case study,
Correct.
wherein I was showing the stop loss across asset classes.
But why do bonds need a stop loss? I also had that
So
question, but
it was an experiment conducted by JP Morgan, wherein they applied 5% stop loss.
bonds stop loss.
5% stop loss to a bond.
Why?
5% stop loss in the Carhart momentum backtest. They
But
backtested it
bonds
Bonds are tradable.
solid
That is fine.
across
bonds.
asset classes.
एक मिनट है, थोड़ा ऑडियंस को थोड़ा सा टाइम दे दो. We are just letting the debaters talk. This is not serving the purpose of the audience time. Audience कुछ बोलो यार. Audience में कोई है नहीं क्या आज?
There are multiple CTPs.
One question to
क्या?
Kunal.
हाँ बोलो.
Just
Yes,
Kunal,
Nishant.
you just talked about the SEBI's banning all the like misleading apps or like Telegram groups or WhatsApp groups, right?
Right.
But in my understanding, they are not like trying to the reason behind the closing all this or banning all these apps or something like this, that they are not authorized to do that part, not to what they are doing exactly. अगर तुम उसको ध्यान से देखोगे कि सेबी ने अभी अवधूत साठे को बैन किया, तो उसने इसलिए बैन किया क्योंकि वो रजिस्टर्ड नहीं था इन्वेस्टमेंट एडवाइजर से. अगर रजिस्टर्ड है तो सेबी इज नॉट गोइंग टू इंटरप्ट देम. So your
But
point is,
Nish,
I don't think so. It is like makes sense.
Are you serious? वो registered नहीं था?
हाँ
no, sir,
हाँ.
वो
That I
registered नहीं
found
था.
hard to believe. क्या? Registered? क्या है यार?
नहीं अब खत्म कर
निशांत,
देंगे।
बट मैंने मेंशन किया है उस चार्ट में कि 97% जो है वो अनरजिस्टर्ड आरए पे हुआ है, राइट. 3% रजिस्टर्ड पे भी किया है सेबी ने. उन्हें बैन किया था कुछ देर के लिए, बट ऐसा कंप्लीटली बैन नहीं किया था. बट
हाँ
3% एक्शन हुआ है रजिस्टर्ड वाले इन पे भी हुआ है,
हाँ ना,
जिन्होंने
that's
टिप्स
the
दिए हैं.
point. वही तो point है ना मेरा. अगर आप रजिस्टर्ड होकर रेकमेंड कर रहे हो तो पॉसिबिलिटी तुमने ही बता दिया कि 90 केवल 7% पे आ गई वो बात। तो यू कैन मेक शो द डिफरेंस बिटवीन बेसिकली।
नहीं, बट अगर रजिस्टर होके भी अगर वो कुछ गलत एक्टिविटीज कर रहा है तो सेबी तो उसको
नहीं
पकड़ेगी
नहीं
ना।
नहीं, ओके, होल्ड ऑन। वी आर नॉट अगेन वी आर नॉट क्वेश्चनिंग कि वो क्या कर रहा है, इलीगल क्या कर रहा है। दैट इज नॉट द क्वेश्चन ऑफ द डिबेट, राइट? लीगल, चलो लीगल वाले भी पकड़ लो। लेट्स नॉट टॉक अबाउट अब्दुल साठे, लेट्स टॉक अबाउट द ones that are legally, like you take economic times, you take, the numbers that we look at regularly, right? Even those, are they justified? Should they be present in the market at all? That is the question of the debate. जो illegal कर रहा है, जो चोरी कर रहा है, जो डाका डाल रहा है, that is a separate question, right?
सर, आई हैव अ
Because
डिफरेंट
there the
ओपिनियन
debate
अबाउट दिस।
question, there the debate topic would be, should SEBI be regulating stock tips and, right?
राइट।
Here we are talking about banning stock tips and stop losses, right?
ओके
Across the board, banning across the board. We are
सर,
not talking about illegal versus legal. We are saying, should they even be allowed at all? चलो थर्ड क्वेश्चन पे आते हैं। बहुत टाइम रहेगा अपने पास ये सब डिस्कस करने के लिए। चलो थर्ड क्वेश्चन पे आते हैं।
Yeah, sharing my screen. Visible, right?
Yeah.
So the next question that we'll be addressing is whether banning target prices and stop loss tips sort of create stability or it fuels speculation. Our take is simple. Any ban sort of backfires, and it in a way pushes traders into like a riskier zone, which sort of ultimately increases speculation and not reduce it. So let's break it down into why global data and how consistently it supports what I said. If you see in 2008 US short selling ban, which is also documented by Burmer, Jones and Zhang, showed like a 77 collapse in short selling, which ultimately worsened liquidity, and again there was no improvement in market stability as well. Similarly, Europe also followed the same thing, which is conducted by the ESMA's Global Steady Review, which found that bans increased volatility and also damaged price discovery. ESRB also found that banned bank stocks faced higher default risk. So the message from the slide is short selling bans don't just reduce speculation; they just reduce transparency. Uh, in and then again coming back to the next further slides, a similar displacement was also occurred when ESMA in 2018 introduced leverage caps, where brokers rapidly shifted clients to offshore jurisdictions. And this can also be a similar pattern can also be seen in ASIC submission behavior, where it warned it said that retail traders will move to unregulated offshore brokers. In the UK, the FCA documented that around 75 million euros had like a retail loss from offshore CFD schemes after certain like a displacement. So if you see, when regulated advice is restricted, traders sort of immediately migrate to a higher risk alternative. Um, as an inference, if the pattern again repeats, so if you see, regulated channels can't just provide clarity, but traders immediately migrate to like an unregulated high risk alternatives. When we come down to social media tip channels, we see that traders actually go when regulated guidance disappears. That is, they moved more towards the social media tip channels. And these operate very differently from regulated advisors. So there's no risk framework or no accountability, where there's just aggressive promotion going on. Um, then these as a whole aren't just like a danger, but whatever I'm presenting here currently are real documented cases where in USCC around $100 million pump scheme was where eight influencers were charged around $100 million for like a pump scheme on Discord and Twitter. SEBI has also banned almost around 50 plus entities for YouTube based manipulation. So again, the inference that we come is very straightforward, where when regulated entities are silenced, there is unregulated channels sort of become the primary source for all of them as a guidance. And these are all built for speculation, but not stability in a way. A research by Hamrick also recorded that around 952 Discord pumps and
30 seconds
246,000
left.
Telegram pumps in just 6 months. Um, I'll go back directly to the conclusion where, so if you see as a global pattern, it's clear that banning actionable target price and stop loss does not just reduce speculation, it displaces it and increases it. Uh, One key
Time
takeaway
up.
is that
Time up, Kishika.
okay.
Hope the screen is visible.
No, Lakshmi, it's not.
Number.
Is it now?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So the third question is, would banning tips based on target price and stop loss lead to greater market stability or increased speculation? So let us first understand when can we say that like what is stability? So stability means a market condition where price moves within a particular range, control range without sudden spikes or crash. It reflects balanced participation, rational decision making, and smooth price discovery. So what are the factors that shows that market is stable? So first is low volatility. Then the second is rational decision making. Then the third one is accurate price discovery. When we say that there is a stability in the market, there should be these 3 points should be there. These elements emerge when traders act independently. When decisions are driven by mass tips, price movements become artificial and erratic, weakening these pillars of a stable market. Now, like, do tips really affect market? So this SEBI survey data highlights how deeply external recommendations shape investor behavior. Personal contacts, influencer, and digital peer groups dominate as information sources, with around 62% of investor basing decisions on social media recommendation. One tip can rapidly influence a huge pool of traders. Then how volatility is affected because of following these tips. So we can say when people follow certain tips and target prices, sorry, this this led them to follow the herding behavior. They buy at the same price and sell at the same price. This impacted to the herding behavior of the people. Huh. So tips created coordinated crowd states, and coordinated crowd states causes volatility. It's market math, not opinion. So the concept of herding explains how volatility intensifies when traders follow the same signal. There is a research on coordinated agents show that a single external cue leads to waves of buying or selling, creating volatility cluster. In the next, in the graph here, this is about the returns in herding economy. The graph of the herding economy visually demonstrates unstable returns. Large upward spikes are followed by sudden crashes, highlighting an environment driven by exaggerated crowd reaction. These irregular fluctuations show how relying on share tips produces unstable outcomes. Then there is another graph showing returns in non-herding economy. This graph represents a healthier market structure. Here, returns are smoother, movements are moderate, and extreme spikes are rare. This pattern emerges when sorry, when decisions are independent and diversified. Now let us understand about how rational decision is affected. So target price tip encourages traders to outsource judgment and ignore fundamentals. When decisions rely on someone else's prediction, thinking becomes reactive rather than analytic. Research like, sorry, Barber and audience. Okay, research like Barber and Odin shows that traders who depend on public signal tend to overtrade and perform poorly. This loss of irrationality feeds volatility and weakens market quality. Uh, then Then there are international regulatory evidences. Global regulatory experience shows a consistent pattern when authorities clamp down on top-driven schemes, manipulation decreases and market integrity improves. Australia reduced social media pump and dumps. The UK lowered boiler room scams. China curbed microcap manipulation and India reduced SMS tip fraud. Historically, regulatory action against tip has aligned with better stability. We can observe the effects of these actions has over there. These are the references. Sorry. Then there is SEBI's crackdown on high-profile pump and dump via social media tips in Jan 2022 signaled enforcement seriousness, which may have deterred at least some manipulative, unregistered tip-based tradition strategy. The India VIX trend illustrates how volatility behaved over time. Volatility peaked around 2020 to 2021, but began declining from 2022 onwards. This timing matches SEBI's crackdown on unregistered social media tipsters in January 2022. Although other factors also influence VIX, the decline aligns with a reduction in coordinated tips-based speculation.
Half a minute left. Yeah.
The researchers summarize reinforce the entire argument. Informational cascades form when people follow other public signals. Trading leads to underperforms pump and dump activity arises from shared tips and sudden signal create volatility spikes. These findings make it clear that tips amplify noise and destabilizes prices while independent decision making strengthen market structure. So here are some researches that has proved these things. The Bigchandani, Hersheyfly and Welch.
Time up, Lakshmi. Time up.
Yeah, these are the references.
Yeah.
Already.
Yeah. Ishika, I have a question for you.
You know, you when you're asking questions, you're giving up your time. You know that,
Yeah.
right?
No, yeah.
Okay.
So that's fine. So we have talked about banning short sellings. We have also talked about pump and dump. We have talked about we have also gone into realms of retail traders moving to unregulated offshore brokers. How is that relevant to the question? All those things are done, but my question is, which again is the main question. See, you talked about pump and dump and all those things. There, SEBI is actively taking actions. They are cutting, they are targeting influencers. They are also taking actions against unregistered RA, which is like Abdul Sate, we know a very great example. But the question still remains the same, where you have not dwelled into it. What happens when a credible source, analyst, a sell side analyst also gives, tips, and what happened when that tips doesn't work out? And as someone who has been in market for a long time, who
Okay,
when
to cut you off, because
I
you are
wanted
just eating up our time, Richa, to cut you short. First of all, we have already shown that for the US short selling ban and all that, there was no improvement in market stability. We have shown that. And it worsened the liquidity. So that has got relevance with the fact that even if ban is imposed, it won't actually improve the stability of the market. Rather, it can
no,
also, it
but
won't.
this is our one second. This is our time. Let us speak.
No, this is not your time. This is
No, no.
our time.
So this was not your time, by the way, Richa.
Okay.
The
this is our
rebuttal was
time.
coming from, yeah.
Now,
तो पहले क्यों नहीं बोला
Yeah.
दीप पहले क्यों नहीं बोला इतना
she is talking actually.
Yeah,
Anyway,
that's a
रोकना चाहिए था ना पहले अच्छा बोलो
that is one point. We have already proven that through the data, right? And secondly is, of course, there is also no data from your end wherein it shows it just shows the market volatility impact on the market volatility and all that, but it doesn't show anything about the future, what ban can do and all that. I mean, we have shown the future that it's already existing a lot of unregulated channels in spite of the ban. In spite of the ban, a lot of unregulated channels traders are going into to take the tips and all that. So, do you think? I mean, we don't think that after the ban, traders would stop taking tips. Rather, it would proliferate. It would only increase, because when you restrict something or somebody from doing something, actually his mindset remains the same. So he will go and turn over to other channels to get the same thing. So we actually don't think that the ban will improve the situation or market stability. So that's the summary or the inference conclusion that we would like to draw. Yep.
Adding on to that as well, regarding the pump and dump cases that we mentioned, right? The SEC's $100 million case, or the SEBI's ban across the YouTube networks. All of these all of these are like an unmonitored group. So the pumps created real volatility in real listed stocks itself. So the impact just doesn't stay inside Telegram, but it's again spill straight into the market as well. Coming back to what you asked as well, Richa, unregulated groups don't just influence retail behavior, they sort of shape even the market's movements, right? Especially if you see when you take like smaller stocks, where even say a few hundred traders can move prices dramatically and easily. And with whatever I have researched and with what I think, pump and dump behavior may sort of start in a corner of the internet, but it's like a shock wave that hits the actual market, in my opinion. And that's why displacement into these like unregulated groups is so I think is also relevant to this debate that we mentioned.
Sir, can we
So,
start?
so you have 1.5 minutes. You already used some time. So I'm giving you another 1.5 minutes to talk.
Okay, so as Deep sir, you said that we haven't showed anything like that in like removing tips like will affect the market volatility and bring the stability. So I have shown two graphs. Graphs one was returns with herding behavior. Firstly, I tell that there is volatility coming from the herding behavior. Then I mentioned these two graphs. Let me share that again. Okay. So I showed this graph returns in herding economy, like how there are how there are sudden spikes and volatility, whereas the returns in non-herding economy is kind of stable and like there are no sudden spikes and all. Shown this, whereas whereas you said that you shown something like future related things. So these are only estimated, but we have shown the calculated and studied things.
Is that it? All right, let's move to the audience section. Audience, कैसा feeling आ रहा है? Are you liking the debate? Are you? Audience?
Okay, actually, I found in both of them, both the sides, they were in the same direction. I'm not sure if I'm wrong in that part. Both
Exactly.
of them mention about banning the tips from the stock market, right? What all actions the regulators took. So I'm actually confused, like what was the
नहीं,
actual
यहाँ
question?
मेरे को तो ऐसा फीलिंग आया कि ये लोग बोल रहे हैं किसी भी चीज को बैन करोगे तो और प्रॉब्लम होने वाला है। चोरी को भी मत बैन करो, डकैती को भी मत बैन करो, कुछ भी मत बैन करो, राइट? कुछ भी बैन करोगे वो और बढ़ेगी। दैट इज द कंक्लूजन दैट आई एम गेटिंग फ्रॉम द डिस्कशन। तरुण, तुम्हें कैसा लग रहा है? तुम कुछ बोल रहे थे, फिर तुम अटक गए। पहले क्वेश्चन में कुछ बोल रहे थे, उसके बाद तुमने कुछ बोला ही नहीं।
हाँ यस सर, मैं सर अभी देखा स्लाइड, तो मुझे समझ में आया है कि कुछ चीज़ें जो है वो ऑलरेडी हमारे फेवर में कर चुकी है। उनके स्लाइड में ऐसा मुझे दिखाई दिया। सो मुझे ज्यादा बोलने की सर जरूरत नहीं पड़ी आज, सो
अच्छा अच्छा, ठीक है।
या
So, so Pratik, actually, after listening to this debate, I have realized that this is, the metaphor I always seem to be thinking in metaphors. This is like 12th standard के लिए क्लास लगाना चाहिए कि नहीं लगाना चाहिए, ये क्लासेस को बंद कर देना चाहिए. In reality, actually, these classes are damaging the system. Like anything, they are preventing students from taking efforts to understand the things, to study things on their own. Self study efforts सारा चला जाता है. So actually these private tuitions need to be banned. Similar is the case with these, that if we go on giving tips, people will just go on investing without reading, as you said, the reports and thinking for themselves. But at the same time, there is a huge class of
गवगवे है क्या, गवगवे है क्या ऑडियंस में बाय एनी चांस?
यस सर, है विनय गौगवे।
Yes, sir.
गवगवे जरा बताना क्या तुम्हारा एक्सपीरियंस था वो 36 लाख के इन्वेस्टर का? यू नो ही दिस गाय ही हैज इन्वेस्टेड 36 lakhs, which is still not a big amount. It's just 36 lakhs. But the interesting part was he is so focused on maximizing something or the other that now that we've given him extra cash, he wants to maximize extra cash, right?
यस सर, यस सर।
थोड़ा बताओ, थोड़ा डिटेल बताओ।
एक्चुअली
हाँ,
कल
मतलब
एक
1 मिनट
क्लाइंट
लो उसके लिए, जरा बताओ कहानी क्या है उस
कल
बंदे की।
कल एक क्लाइंट के पास गया था। उसको मैंने अपनी स्ट्रैटेजी दिखाई, स्ट्रेसलेस अपनी एफटीएम वाली, और उसको स्ट्रैटेजी समझी, सारी चीजें समझी। और फिर जब एक्स्ट्रा कैश की बात आई तो उसने बोला कि मेरे को आप स्टॉक रिकमेंड करो। मैंने बोला नहीं सर, हमारी तरफ से रिकमेंडेशन नहीं होता है। तो फिर वो बोला कि मेरे को अभी 25 साल हो गए मार्केट में। अब 25 साल के अनुभव से तुम्हारी स्ट्रैटेजी जो देखी है उससे मेरे को ये पता लगता है कि तुम्हारी स्ट्रैटेजी वोलेटाइल स्टॉक के लिए अच्छी काम करती है। तो मैंने बोला नहीं सर, मेरी स्ट्रैटेजी किसी भी इसमें अच्छी काम करती है। तो वो बोल रहा था मैं तो इसको वोलेटाइल स्टॉक के लिए ही यूज करना चाहूंगा। मैंने बोला क्यों? क्योंकि मैं एक्स्ट्रा कैश को लॉस रिकवरी मैकेनिज्म की तरह ना देखते हुए प्रॉफिट की तरह देखना चाहूंगा। तो मैं चाहूंगा कि जितना ज्यादा जल्दी स्टॉक वोलेटाइल रहेगा उतना ज्यादा मेरा एक्स्ट्रा कैश बनेगा, तो उतना ज्यादा फायदा मेरे को होगा। तो मैंने बोला सर वोलेटाइल का ठीक है, लेकिन हमारी स्ट्रैटेजी मिनिमम ऑफ मिनिमम 12 से 15% के बीच में रिटर्न देती है। तो वो बोले कि फिर यार मैं क्या करूंगा, बोले ऐसे स्ट्रैटेजी का, जब मेरे पास बाकी के अल्टरनेटिव ऑप्शंस है। उसने स्मॉल केस का एग्जांपल लिया, जो थीमेटिक बास्केट्स होती है ना, थीमेटिक फंड्स होते हैं, उसका इसने एग्जांपल दिया। तो उसमें भी मुझे कम से कम 25 एनुअली 5 साल से मैं कर रहा हूँ, बोले 25% का कंपाउंडिंग रिटर्न मिल रहा है बोले। तो मैं ऐसी स्ट्रैटेजी पे क्यों पैसा ना लगाना चाहूँ बोले, जो मेरे को 20% से ऊपर का ना दे। वो मेरे को ये भी बोल रहा था कि 20 लाख मेरे पास है, ये तू 20 लाख लेके जा, तू खुद ही पैसे लगा इसको और रिकमेंड कर। मतलब तुम लगा लो और रिटर्न जनरेट करके दो। मिनिमम मेरे को 20% से ऊपर का चाहिए रिटर्न, ये बोलना था उसका।
मतलब मेरे को तो इससे यही समझ में आया कि वो कुछ भी समझने को तैयार ही नहीं है। उसको बस दुनिया में ये चाहिए कि मेरा पैसा ले जाओ, मेरे को पैसा दे जाओ, मेरे को ये मार्केट वार्केट से कोई मतलब ही नहीं है। दैट्स द फीलिंग आई गॉट। व्हाट शदाब, हाउ आर यू फीलिंग शदाब? आई थिंक अभी भी डाउन है। सैफ, तुमको तुम्हारा क्या इंप्रेशन बन रहा है डिस्कशन से?
हाँ सर, डिस्कशन डिबेट से सर मेरे को समझ आ रहा है कुछ नई चीज़ें,
अच्छा
और थोड़ा कन्फ्यूजन भी है। मतलब कोई कंक्लूजन नहीं निकल पा रहा है, क्या क्या सही है क्या गलत है अभी तक।
अच्छा, ठीक है। अभय, तुमको क्या समझ में आ रहा है अभय?
हेलो सर।
हाँ, बोलो बोलो अभय।
हाँ सर, मतलब वो इंग्लिश है ना, बोल रहे ना, थोड़ा प्रॉब्लम जा रहा है समझने में
अच्छा,
मुझे।
ठीक है ठीक है, नो प्रॉब्लम नो प्रॉब्लम, ठीक है। अच्छा, और कोई बताओ यार, तुमको क्या? 3 क्वेश्चंस खत्म हो चुके हैं। अपना सी बैनिंग पे किसी का कोई इम्प्रेशन है क्या? मतलब ऑफ कोर्स यू नो द होल पर्पस ऑफ अ रेगुलेटिंग बॉडी इज टू स्टॉप एक्टिविटी दैट लुक्स हार्मफुल, राइट? अगर हम कुछ भी रेगुलेट नहीं करेंगे, will that be a good thing or bad thing? Like, I mean, for example, US has gone through periods where they have been completely in an unregulated world, right?
Right.
And mostly those have resulted in catastrophes. जो 2008 का crash हुआ, that was a result of unregulated markets, right? जितने भी बड़े बड़े crashes हुए हैं, they are the culmination of some unregulated behavior. अभिनव, तुम्हारा क्या थॉट बन रहा है आज की डिबेट से?
सर डिबेट का तो मैं एंड में बोलता हूँ, पर मेरा एक ये अंडरस्टैंडिंग है कि जब अवधूत साठे वाला केस अगर मैं देखता हूँ, तो सेबी ने एक्शन 500 करोड़ या 600 करोड़ पे ही क्यों लिया, 100 करोड़ पे क्यों नहीं ले लिया? मेरा मेन कंसर्न तो ये है। क्या वो?
नहीं, okay, now you are talking about whether SEBI is the right kind of regulating body,
हाँ।
right?
राइट।
That is a separate kind of debate. यहाँ हम बोल रहे हैं कि मान लो that you had a genuine, fair, perfect kind of regulating body. Should that body be banning tips, right? It's
टिप्स
not
एज।
even about stop losses and targets. It's about tips themselves, right?
राइट राइट। तो सर टिप्स एज इन ओवरऑल टिप्स, या फिर इसमें भी बाइफरकेशन होगा कि भाई रेगुलेटर है जो।
ये देखो, तुमने एक आर्टिकल देखा,
हाँ।
पेपर में एक आर्टिकल आया, बायजूस पे आर्टिकल आया, मान लो,
हम्म।
right? An article is a detailed understanding of some phenomenon, some mistake, something gone wrong, something gone right, right?
हम्म।
By definition, an article is not supposed to, like, especially an article written by a reporter, is not supposed to be judgmental, right? But a tip by nature is judgmental, right? और टिप सेज तुमको कुछ पढ़ने की जरूरत नहीं है, मैंने जो बोला वो ऐसा जैसे चूरन है, चूरन खाओ तंदुरुस्त हो जाओ, इट्स समथिंग लाइक दैट. अग्री और डिसएग्री?
राइट राइट, अग्री।
चलो अगले क्वेश्चन पे जाएं, लास्ट क्वेश्चन. मार्केटिंग टीम, योर
Yes, Prashant, carry on.
हाँ शेयर कर रहा हूँ। हेलो।
हाँ बोलो.
मेरा स्क्रीन शेयर है।
हाँ दिख रहा.
ओके। आज का लास्ट क्वेश्चन है, could banning target as a stop loss step reduce in increase risk of manipulate in the market? एक स्कूल ऑफ थॉट के मुताबिक बैन मैनिपुलेटेड को रिड्यूस कर सकता है। जैसे एक एग्जांपल है, इसको स्टेट किया था कि अगर स्टॉप लॉस टारगेट प्राइस रिलेटेड टिप्स को बैन किया जाए तो बहुत हद तक मैनिपुलेटेड चांस जो है वह कम हो सकता है। तो इससे क्या होगा, एडवाइज़र को फोर्स किया जाएगा कि एडवाइज़र सिर्फ रिसर्च के ऊपर ही डिपेंड करे कि ना करे, प्री पैकेज टिप्स के ऊपर और कुछ भी। रेगुलेटेड का यह भी मानना है कि ये टिप्स को अगर बैन किया जाए तो वो भी ट्रेड यूनिफॉर्मली को रिड्यूस करेगा। और स्पेकुलेटेड ट्रेडिंग को भी बहुत हद तक रिड्यूस कर सकता है। इससे क्या है कि ट्रेडर को भी सिर्फ फंडामेंटल के ऊपर डिपेंड करना पड़ेगा, ना कि टिप्स बेस्ड ऑन टारगेट प्राइस ऑन स्टॉप लॉस। बट इन रियलिटी को सब गलत, ये सब गलत है। क्योंकि बैन असल में इंक्रीज करेगा रिस्क को मैनिपुलेट, क्योंकि टिप्स कभी भी एग्जिट करेगा। टिप्स का ये प्रॉब्लम नहीं है। प्रॉब्लम यह है कि ट्रेडर जाएगा कहाँ? बैंक के पास ही। ऑफकोर्स ट्रेडर जाएगा बैंक के पास ही जाएगा। इसका एग्जाम जैसे कि एग्जिट सोशल मीडिया चैनल पे आप देखोगे बहुत सारे चैनल है। फॉर एग्जांपल ट्विटर में स्टडी किया गया था। 20 मिलियन स्टॉक ट्वीट की से बहुत सारा लार्ज वॉल्यूम असल में स्पैम से, बॉट से मैनिपुलेट तो मैनिपुलेशन तो रोबोट के ऊपर भी डिपेंडेंसी अभी भी रिटेल ट्रेडर्स को है। तो बैन करने के बाद भी डिपेंडेंसी और बढ़ जाएगा।
कैसे बढ़ जाएगा? बैन करने के बाद जब बैन हो गया तो है ही नहीं ना, फिर कैसे डिपेंडेंसी बढ़ जाएगा?
जब आपका बैलेंस बढ़ेगा तो उसका डिपेंडेंसी बढ़ेगा ना सर।
नहीं नहीं, जब है ही नहीं, जब जब कोई टिप्स दे ही नहीं सकता, बंद कर दिया टिप देना, तो डिपेंडेंसी कहाँ से बढ़ जाएगा? समझ रहे हैं बात प्रशांत? जो अगर मैं कोकेन बैन कर दूं,
हाँ
कोकेन मिल ही नहीं रहा, कहीं मार्केट में मिल ही नहीं रहा,
हाँ,
तो फिर उस पर कोई डिपेंडेंसी कैसे हो सकता है?
तो बाहर से खरीदेंगे।
नहीं, मिल ही नहीं रहा ना, मैंने बंद करवा दिया, सब जगह बंद करवा दिया, पूरी
हम्म।
कंट्री में नहीं मिल रहा, मैंने पूरा बैन करवा दिया। जो
सर
जो 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 बेच रहा है कोकेन, उसको पकड़ के मैं जेल में डाल रहा हूँ।
अच्छा, मतलब जेलर बन रहे हो आप।
हाँ।
खर्रा बैन हो गया था सर अभी बीच में।
हाँ जी।
नागपुर में खर्रा बैन हो गया था सर बीच में।
हाँ, इसको मिल रहा है बराबर बस।
सर जितना भी बैन करो, इंडिया में एटलीस्ट मैं बोल सकता
मिल ही
हूँ
जाता है सर।
मिल ही जाता है।
नहीं
आई
नहीं,
कैन।
ये वही मेरा कहने का मतलब यही हुआ ना। ये तो वही बात हो गई कि चोरी भी बैन मत करो, डाका भी बैन मत करो,
वो तो होता है
होने
नहीं
दो।
सर।
सर
राइट।
सर जो भी बैन करो, इंडिया में वो एक्सपोनेंशियली बढ़ता है।
नहीं तो वही मैं बोल रहा ना, फिर पुलिस पे पैसा खर्च करने की जरूरत क्या है? मेरा टैक्स का पैसा क्यों खर्च कर रहे हो पुलिस पे?
पुलिस तो खुद ही चोरी कर रहा है।
नहीं नहीं,
I think
क्वेश्चन ये नहीं है कि पुलिस होनी चाहिए कि नहीं होनी चाहिए। क्वेश्चन ये है कि पुलिस होने से फायदा होगा या नुकसान होगा, ये क्वेश्चन है।
दोनों है सर। पुलिस होती भी है, करती भी अच्छा काम है, कभी गलत काम भी करती है।
चलो, इसी बात पे सुनते हैं कस्टमर सर्विस को क्या बोलना है।
अच्छा,
तो थर्ड क्वेश्चन की।
लास्ट क्वेश्चन ना?
यस।
प्रशांत, गुड अटेम्प्ट, गुड जॉब मैन।
थैंक यू सर। बंद करो उसके सर स्क्रीन।
हाँ हाँ, शेयर करना बंद करो। हाँ।
देखते बैठे रहो।
स्क्रीन विजिबल है?
हाँ हाँ।
चलो।
Could banning target price and stop loss tips reduce or increase the risk of manipulation? So, what is manipulation in the stock market? Market manipulation is the intentional and artificial manipulation of supply and demand to influence a stock price. Let's see the some types of manipulations. Pump and dump. Manipulator secretly buys a cheap liquid stock, then spread bullish tips like YouTube, टेलीविजन टेलीग्राम एंड एसएमएस पे आप देख पाते हो कि कैसे वो पंप एंड डंप के लिए आपको टिप्स देते हैं उनके बेनिफिट्स के लिए, जबकि वो खुद ही पहले जो स्टॉक से वो पर्टिकुलर स्टॉक वो खरीद चुके हैं और उससे फिर अ, वो उसके लिए फिर वो टिप्स देते हैं ताकि हग अमाउंट पे जो लोग हैं वो उनसे इन्फ्लुएंस हो सके। देन इन्फ्लुएंसर ड्रिवन टिप्स, जो इन्फ्लुएंसर से इवन जो जैसे अभी देखा अब्दुल साठे जो था वो अनरजिस्टर्ड इन्फ्लुएंसर था, कितने लोगों को उसने इन्फ्लुएंस किया, कितने बड़े बड़े लोग जो उसमें फंसे, 8-8 9-9 10-10 लाख का जो लॉस हुआ। तो वो कहीं ना कहीं इन्फ्लुएंसर्स और उनके उसके जो फॉलोअर्स है उसके बारे में हुआ। तो वो जो फॉलोअर्स जो उनको फॉलो करते हैं, जो इन्फ्लुएंस करते हैं, और वो अपने बेनिफिट्स के लिए लोगों को इन्फ्लुएंस करके अपना जो एडवांटेज है वो निकलवाते हैं। तो कहीं ना कहीं वो भी एक चीज़ आ जाती है। देन सेकेंड है कि मिसलीडिंग रिसर्च एंड स्टॉक प्रमोशन टिप्स। तो आप कई बार देखोगे कि मिसलीडिंग रिसर्चेस होती है, जो कि झूठी रिसर्चेस भी कई बार दिखाई जाती है कि ये वाला स्टॉक बढ़ने वाला है, ये वाला पर्टिकुलर फील्ड बहुत ऊपर जाने वाला है। कोई सा रेलवे सेक्टर फॉर एग्जांपल बोल रहा हूँ, कोई रेलवे सेक्टर फॉर एग्जांपल नहीं भी जा रहा है बट कई बार दिखा देते कि रेलवे सेक्टर भी जाने वाला है, तो जल्दी से जल्दी रेलवे रिलेटेड स्टॉक्स करो। इवन बड़े प्लेयर्स का इस पे कई बार गेम होता है कि वो ऑलरेडी पैसा लगा चुके हैं, अब वो कैसा पंप करना है उस स्टॉक को वैसा दिखा के और फिर मिसलीडिंग रिसर्च के जरिए से वो आपको अंजाम देते हैं। उसके बाद स्टॉक प्रमोशन टिप्स देते हैं। कई बार आप देखोगे कि एक बेगर स्टॉप है उसको भी हाँ टिप्स मिलती है, तो वो स्टॉक को प्रमोट किया जाता है बेसिकली। Then banning on tips, especially unregistered influences, reduce market manipulation because it removes a key distribution channel and coordination tool that manipulators need for pump and dump and similar schemes. सो टारगेट जैसे टारगेट प्राइस टिप्स है, स्टॉप लॉस रिकमेंडेशंस है, वो जो रिटेल ट्रेडिंग के लिए यूज़ होता है, अनरेगुलेटेड चैनल्स है, वो भी कहीं ना कहीं इसमें शामिल है। तो उसमें क्या होता है कि जब वो प्राइमरी जो सोर्सेस रहते हैं लाइक अपना जो इंस्टाग्राम और जो प्राइमरी सोर्सेस है उस पर वो लोग टिप भेजते हैं, और उस टिप रिलेटेड जब वो जो लोग हैं वो हग अमाउंट में जब वो खरीदते हैं, खरीदते खरीदते जाते हैं और सडनली वो जो स्पाइक होता है उस पर फिर वो लोग बेच देते हैं। तो जब उनका जो बेनिफिट है वो डायरेक्टली इन्फ्लुएंस वाले जो लोग हैं या जो इन्वेस्टर्स है वो ले लेते हैं, जो टिप्स दे रहे हैं उनके बिहाफ पे और उनके बेनिफिट्स के लिए। तो वो एक स्टडी यहाँ पर आई थी, सेबी ऑर्डर्स हैव रिपीटेडली सीटेड टारगेट प्राइस रिकमेंडेशन इन टेलीग्राम व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप एज अ कॉमन टेक्टिक इन पंप एंड डंप स्कीम्स। सो यहाँ पर 23-24 की एक स्टडी थी जिसमें उन्होंने बताया था कि किस तरीके से सेबी ने बताया कि कैसे जो व्हाट्सएप एंड टेलीग्राम है उस पे वो लोग स्कीम्स और टिप्स देके और लोगों को कैसे झांसे में फंसाते। देन सेकंड और एक स्टडी हमने एक देखा जिसमें many TPSL recommendations are not based on fundamental. Mostly public TPSL tips come from unregulated influencers, private chat groups, black box trading system without audit paid distributor with no free study responsibility. और ये सब चीज़ें भी एक रिपोर्ट में दिखाई गई है 22 के इसमें ESMA के रिपोर्ट में, जिसमें हुआ है कि रिपोर्ट फाउंड दैट इन्फ्लुएंसर ट्रेडिंग टिप्स frequently contain conflicts or interest and often they purchase the stock before offering the tip। वो जो टिप देते हैं उसके पहले ही वो स्टॉक खरीद के रख लेते हैं, और उसके बाद फिर जो उसका जो रिजल्ट है और जैसे ही वो स्पाइक करता है, जैसे ही वो उनको पता होता है कि कब उनको बेचना है एंड ऑल, तो वो उस स्ट्रेटेजी के अनुसार चलते हैं एंड लोगों को इन्फ्लुएंस करके ठग लेते हैं। देन अभी आपने अब्दुल साटी का भी देखा ही है एग्जाम्पल, जैसे अभी कुणाल ने भी किया, और अभी डिस्कस भी इसके बारे में काफ़ी हुआ, तो मैं ज़्यादा इस पर डिस्कस नहीं करना चाहूँगा। ऑन 4 December 2025 द सिक्योरिटी एक्सचेंज बोर्ड ऑफ इंडिया इज इशू अ स्वीपिंग एक्शन अगेंस्ट इन्फ्लुएंसर अब्दुल साटे एंड हिज फर्म अब्दुल साटे ट्रेडिंग
ये सुन
सिस्टमेटिक
लिया
प्राइवेट
यार,
लिमिटेड।
अब्दुल साठे बहुत हो गया। वी आर नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट अब्दुल साठे। दिस मीटिंग इज नॉट अबाउट अब्दुल साठे। It is about
यस
what is happening in economic times. There's a whole world of people making recommendations that has nothing to do with illegalities, right?
यस
हमको
एंड देर
इलीगल
इज
वालों को नहीं समझना है, हमको समझना है उनको जो ऑथराइज वे में कर रहे हैं वो भी अलाउड होना चाहिए कि नहीं, ये क्वेश्चन है।
सो ये डेवलप मार्केट्स एंड इमर्जिंग मार्केट्स का चार्ट है।
हाँ बोलो।
Then why tips create distortions? It is not a tool's target price or stop loss that distorts make market. It is the broadcasting of tips based on them in small mid cap crash stocks. Such tips often trigger hard entry at the same price zone. Prediction magnets where prices drift artificially toward the target pump and dump vulnerability due to coordinate entry exit, short-term mispricing and false momentum. Why a ban helps? Remove manipulative signaling that mislead retail investor. Reduce
तुम्हारा
artificial liquidity
टाइम खत्म हो गया आई थिंक।
driven by violent risks. Minimize price manipulation risks, especially in the thinly
तरुण
traded
तुम्हारा
small
टाइम
mid.
खत्म हो गया आई थिंक। टाइम खत्म हुआ ना तरुण का, नहीं या मेरा क्लॉक कुछ गड़बड़ किया?
हो गया सर।
हाँ ठीक, ठीक
Okay.
है। बोलो मार्केटिंग टीम, तुम्हारा रिबटल क्या है?
ओके तरुण, तो आपने जो भी डेटा दिखाया लगभग सिमिलर डेटा ही दिखाया अलोंग द सेम लाइन, पर उससे कोई कोरिलेशन नहीं है कि मार्केट स्टेबिलिटी वो इम्प्रूव किया है बैन के बाद जो भी है। तो मार्केट स्टेबिलिटी इंक्रीज किया है, अच्छा किया है, और लेट्स से स्पेकुलेशन डिक्रीज किया है, रिड्यूस किया है, ऐसा कोई डेटा आपने दिखा नहीं पाए। आपने सिर्फ बैन बैन और बैन बोले। तो हम लोग क्या दिखाए कि एग्जैक्टली हम लोग दिखाए कि बैन के बाद भी बहुत सारा इन्फ्लुएंसर्स अक्रॉस द वर्ल्ड, सिर्फ इंडिया का बात नहीं है, बैन के बाद भी बहुत सारा अनरेगुलेटेड चैनल्स अभी भी चल रहा है, और वहाँ पे बहुत सारा ट्रेडर्स है जो ये स्पेकुलेटिव एक्टिविटीज कर रहा है, और ये बैन के बाद भी हो रहा है। ऐसा नहीं कि ऐसे भी कोई भी स्टेप नहीं ले रहा है। तो पूरा अगर बैन किया जाए तो अनरेगुलेटेड जो चैनल्स है, चाहे वो ऑनशोर हो या ऑफशोर हो, उसमें तो रिटेल ट्रेडर्स जाएगा ही, क्योंकि माइंडसेट तो आप चेंज नहीं कर सकते, आप जितना भी बैन लगा लो। तो वही हम लोग दिखाया, पर आपका कोई डेटा नहीं है पॉइंट जो आप दिखा सको कि यार स्पेकुलेशन रिड्यूस किया है या मार्केट स्टेबिलिटी इंक्रीज किया है।
हो गया तुम्हारा पॉइंट दीप?
यस सर, यस।
अच्छा ठीक है।
प्रशांत कुछ बोलना
एक मिनट, हाँ। आप प्रशांत को कुछ बोलना है, बोलो बोलो
प्रशांत,
प्रशांत।
प्रशांत ऐड करो कुछ।
नहीं नहीं, कुछ नहीं बोलना है।
नहीं, एक दो लाइन ऐड करो।
चलो ठीक है, प्रशांत नहीं बोलना चाह रहा है, ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं।
ओके,
अच्छा, before the customer service team gets into rebuttal, I just want to comment Tarun कि he is the first guy who brought up the question कि इनका मोटिव क्या है, what is the motive behind giving a tip? अभी तक आई डोंट थिंक एनीबडी, किसी और ने बोला क्या टिप के बारे में, क्यों टिप दे रहा है देने वाला? अभिनव, अभी तक किसी ने बोला क्या?
नहीं सर, अभी तक नहीं बोला।
अभी तक नहीं बोला। इट इज अमेजिंग कि फोर्थ क्वेश्चन पे आके हम उनका मोटिव क्वेश्चन कर रहे हैं, उनका टिप देने का। चलो कस्टमर सर्विस टीम प्लीज गो हेड।
So,
Yes.
Deep sir, you talked about कि like speculation बढ़ता है या नहीं बढ़ता है, but the question was about कि manipulate होता है टिप से मार्केट या नहीं होता है। तो
नहीं,
तरुण has
वो
clearly
क्वेश्चन नहीं
shown
था,
एक मिनट
वो
एक मिनट
क्वेश्चन।
एक मिनट एक मिनट एक मिनट, तुम्हारा टाइम हो गया अभी, बोलने दो ना उसको, थोड़ा खत्म करने दो उसका पॉइंट। हाँ हम बोलो लक्ष्मी।
Okay, so I was saying, the fourth question was, could banning target price and stop loss tips reduce or increase the risk of manipulation in the market? So the question is this, and Tarun has clearly shown कि how the pump and dump schemes affect
नहीं,
the
क्वेश्चन
like
तो गलत
manipulates the.
गलत बोल रहे हो।
No,
क्या
I'm
गलत हो
speaking
रहा है?
to correct question.
नो नो नो।
फोर्थ क्वेश्चन
Yeah.
क्या है बताओ, कोई पढ़ के बताओ। तरुण पढ़ना पढ़ना क्या है फोर्थ क्वेश्चन? तरुण।
Could banning target price and stop loss tips reduce or increase the risk of manipulation in the market?
तो अभी इसमें क्या डाउट आ रहा है?
लीड टू ग्रेटर मार्केट स्टेबिलिटी और इंक्रीज स्पेकुलेशन।
That was the third question, sir.
Yes, exactly.
हाँ बोलो बोलो
Okay.
लक्ष्मी.
So one point I have mentioned कि Tarun has clearly shown कि how pump and dump schemes manipulates the market and how tips manipulates the market. Richa, go ahead. You can add your points.
Yeah, so what Tarun mentioned was that only ke how first of all he put the premise ke how markets are really manipulated. There are a couple of ways where we talked about every way with the RA that are registered, the way which you are telling कब से कि अगर हम वो भी बंद कर देंगे then also people will find a way to kind of work around के वो फिर भी tips देंगे तो he has also tried to put that point also. उन्होंने pump and dump की भी बात करी how things are different with everything. Both the graphs he has explained. Again, Abdul Sate का example was very recent, like literally 2 days back. इसलिए हमने बोला and it is also most talked about. That is why also we put that up. I guess the question was very relevant और the good part about what Tarun did was उसने हर चीज को बोला हर aspect में बोला. So I don't know how it is not relevant.
एंड ऑल्सो अगर हम सेबी के एक्शंस देखते हैं तो मोस्ट ऑफ द एक्शंस उन्होंने ये टिप्स बेस्ड जो देता है ना इन्फ्लुएंसर्स उनके ऊपर ही उन्होंने लिया है. इट मीन्स कि ये मैनिपुलेट करता है मार्केट. सेबी के खुद के एक्शंस हमें बताते हैं कि टिप्स बेस्ड जो भी लाइक देते हैं टारगेट प्राइस और स्टॉप लॉस पे ये मैनिपुलेट करता है मार्केट को.
यस एग्जैक्टली. मैनिपुलेशन इज डन बाय द टिप्स बिकॉज आप कितने भी टेलीग्राम चैनल्स पे देखोगे या सोशल मीडिया पे देखोगे तो आपको समझ में आएगा कि कितने बड़े पैमाने पे मैनिपुलेशन हो रहा है.
चलो
आपका
ओके.
क्वेश्चन ये है कि यस
हाँ बोलो 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 खत्म करो.
आपका क्वेश्चन ये है कि क्या मैनिपुलेशन इम्पैक्ट हो रहा है कि नहीं हो रहा है. तो मेरे हिसाब से ऐसा है कि अगर आप टिप्स और टारगेट प्राइजेस के बिहाफ पे अगर आप टिप्स दोगे तो कहीं ना कहीं कस्टमर का भी होप हो रहा है और एक साथ जब खरीद रहे बेच रहे या फिर अगर इतने बड़े अमाउंट में लोग अगर वो टिप्स को फॉलो कर रहे हैं तो कहीं ना कहीं मैनिपुलेशन तो हो रहा है क्योंकि
चलो
एक
हो गया
साथ
टाइम
सारी
हो
चीज़ें
गया.
अगर हो रहा है सो
टाइम हो गया
यस.
गाइस टाइम हो गया. राइट. ऑडियंस का टाइम है.
यस सर.
आज का डिबेट क्वालिटी वाज नॉट गुड. राइट. पार्टली बिकॉज टिप्स जो का स्टोरी जो है there are two types of tips, right? One type of tip is given by an RA where he is registered, he is authorized. He probably even charges a fee from his customer to and he gives him a detailed report. वो एक type of tip, right? उसको you know main point is he gives a detailed research report, right? And the second type is the kind of tips that you see in newspapers, on social media, in ad channels, right? Of course, by definition, those people are not authorized. अगर वो authorized होते तो why would they give it out for free, right? Agree or disagree? मैं जो point कर रहा हूँ.
Agreed.
हम्म.
Agree.
नहीं आप ये तो टीम्स में से बोलोगे तो क्या मजा आएगा. टीम के बाहर सुनना है हमको क्या.
I agree to that, Pratik, because they are benefiting in some way or the other by giving it free of cost.
Right. The only reason they are giving, like the people that are doing, are authorized, are not giving it away for free, right? So
Right.
anybody who's giving it away for free, by definition, is unauthorized, right? The only thing is, for some reason, SEBI is not cracking down on these people.
But
Is that
I'm quite a disagree with you, sir. What I'm
हाँ
just
बोलो
trying.
बोलो.
See what happens that if we talk about the economic times, stock recommendations and all that thing. So maybe ET is paying to those who is recommending the stock.
नहीं,
But
but why?
the point is, yes, sir.
but that
Why
isn't
is
that
he paying these guys? See, if I am personally making an investment
Hmm.
and I want an expert opinion, that makes sense. Who is ET? Like ET is not an investor. If ET is investor, then ET should be getting those tips for themselves.
So
Yeah, I agree. But the point is over here that ET wants to give something additional information to their existing clients, who is the reader of their reader.
नहीं, so ET is
That's why
supposed to publish articles, right?
Okay.
ET is supposed to give information,
Hmm.
right? ET तो चूरन बेचने की कोशिश कर रहा है ना.
No. That's what I'm saying, sir. That's what I'm saying. It is not charging anything for that particular recommendation from their clients. It is an additional service which is it is providing. So
नहीं,
basically,
तो
it is
that
not
is
charging.
exactly the point ना. क्या सर्विस उसमें, क्या सर्विस है? ET is a newspaper, right?
Right.
इट इज सपोज, कल मैं वहां ईटी में मैं पब्लिश करने लग जाऊं कि बम कैसे बनाते हैं. फ्री में सर्विस दे रहे हैं हम, बम कैसे बनाते हैं. इज दैट फेयर?
No, it is not fair.
कैसे
But
बैंक का लॉकर तोड़ते हैं उसका हम फ्री में इंफॉर्मेशन दे रहे हैं, राइट? देयर
हाँ.
हैज टू बी अ बाउंड्री अराउंड व्हाट यू आर गिविंग अवे फॉर फ्री, राइट?
Right. Agree.
I mean, you are a newspaper, you publish articles, you publish news items, you publish information about how one should think about companies. That is understandable. But
isn't sir
even
वही तो चीज.
giving tips on how to gamble,
Hmm.
क्या point है उसका? Just because you are print media doesn't mean there is no curb on what you can print or not print. मेरे को मालूम है ये केमिकल्स को डाल के एक बम बनता है. सबको, कोई भी आजकल तो सबको मजे आते हैं कुछ ना कुछ धमाकेदार बनाने में. तुम पब्लिश कर लो, एक आर्टिकल लिख दो कैसे बम बनता है, देखो कितना धड़ल्ले से बिकता है. मैं गलत बोल रहा हूँ क्या निशा?
I agree, sir. मैं agree कर रहा हूँ आपकी बात से.
नहीं.
There
ठीक है,
should be
इस
a
बेसिस
boundary.
पे.
There
हाँ,
should be
बोलो बोलो.
population.
मैं स्कोर्स करता हूँ, तब तक आपके पास 7-8 मिनट हैं, बात कीजिए, ठीक है?
सर वही तो चीज है ना कि वो क्रेडिबिलिटी बढ़ा रहे हैं ना अपना. द मोर राइट दे कैन बूस्ट अबाउट इट. और हमारे डिस्कशंस इस पे भी हुए ना कि इतने ज्यादा वो क्या बोलते हैं मल्टी बैगर्स हो गए, वो इसीलिए होते हैं सो दैट वी कैन बूस्ट अबाउट दैट. सो इजंट इट द सेम? आई फील दिस इज ऑल्सो वन ऑफ द रीजन.
कंटिन्यू गाइस, कंटिन्यू, यूज द टाइम. गौगा भाई कुछ बताओ यार, क्या फीलिंग आया तुमको आज के डिबेट से?
सर यही कि जो मतलब मेरे हिसाब से जो बैनिंग वगैरह जो टारगेट प्राइस और स्टॉप लॉस के साथ देते हैं, एक तरीके से वो जहर ही बेच रहे हैं मेरे हिसाब से. और मतलब जैसे अवधूत साठे वाला केस बहुत यहाँ पे हाईलाइट किया गया है. तो बेसिकली वो उस तरीके से कैसा होता था कि जो मल्टीपैगर स्टॉक्स होते थे जो पेनी कौड़ियों के दाम में बिकते उसको वो ज्यादा मतलब उसको हाइप लाने के लिए उसको जो कंपनी रेकमेंड करे उसको पैसे मिलते थे कि हमारा स्टॉक रेकमेंड करो इस तरीके से. तो ऐसे में जो एक रिटेल इन्वेस्टर है ट्रेडर है उसको मिसगाइड किया जाता है.
जैसे मैं और कौन गया था, सैफ तुम गए थे या सुमित गया था? अपन हैदराबाद गए थे ना, वो उससे मिलने, गुलाटी और
मैं गया था सर.
सुबीर से मिलने. हाँ, तो उसका कहना था भाई वो तो गैम्बलर है, ट्रेडर तो गैम्बलर है, हम तो बस उसकी उसकी हैबिट को सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं, राइट? एंड टिप्स आर द एक्सट्रीम केस. वो तो कोकेन खिला रहे हैं बेसिकली. एनीवे, दिस इज जस्ट माय ओपिनियन. किसी का कोई दूसरा ओपिनियन है, प्लीज शेयर करो. भाई लोग बोलो यार, कुछ बोलो.
मैंने तो सर यही मतलब ऑब्जर्व किया है कि जो भी चैनल टिप्स देता है या जो भी न्यूज़पेपर रिकमेंडेशंस देता है, वो स्टॉक मेजोरिटी टाइम्स वो चलता ही नहीं है। मतलब अगर बाय बोला तो वो पहले ही स्टॉप लॉस हिट कर देगा।
तो अभिनव बोल रहा है ना सर, वी वर यूज टू डू दैट पार्ट। हमारा जो ब्रोकर है वो जो टिप देता था उसका हम अपोजिट करते थे। वो बोलता था बाय कर लो, हम वहीं से शॉर्ट करते थे।
ये कहाँ की बात कर रहे हैं?
मतलब सर मेरा ब्रोकर तो अरियंत कैपिटल है, मैं तो उसकी बात कर
अच्छा।
रहा हूँ।
उसका रिजल्ट क्या था निशान?
क्या?
मतलब उसका रिजल्ट क्या था? यू वर
नहीं
टेकिंग ऑपोजिट पोजीशन, राइट?
सर, लॉन्ग अगो, मतलब बहुत पहले की बात बता रहा हूँ मैं, बैक इन 2015-16।
तो मतलब व्हाट वाज द सक्सेस रेट? उसमें सक्सेस रेट कितना था?
मुझे याद नहीं है, वही दैट्स व्हाट आई एम सेइंग, मतलब बहुत पुरानी बात है।
ओके।
barely we follow those recommendations.
ओके।
चलो स्कोर्स आ गए हैं मेरे पास। CS टीम 131, marketing team 109, right? I mean, it was a tough topic. लेकिन यार तुम लोग मेरे साथ बात क्यों नहीं करते यार? दोनों टीम ने बात नहीं की इस बार मेरे साथ। आई जस्ट
सर
डोंट गेट इट।
नहीं,
हम्म।
हमने 2 बार बात करी आपसे इन द मीटिंग्स।
नहीं नहीं, मीटिंग में क्या बात? उसको बात करना थोड़ी ना बोलते हैं। वो तो मीटिंग हो रहा है, वहां तो मैं ऐसे ही टपक पड़ता हूँ। उसको बात करना थोड़ी ना बोलते हैं यार। उसमें तो आई एम जस्ट देयर टू फिगर आउट कि क्या चल रहा है। उसके उसको अगर तुम बात करना पकड़ रहे हो तो तुमको बात करने का मतलब ही नहीं समझ में आ रहा। चलो एनीवे, तो सो नाउ व्हाट हैपेंस नाउ? CS team competes with instructor team next in Eliminator 2. एक टॉस कर लें?
हाँ सर।
एलिमिनेटर टीम और CS टीम। चलो मैं शेयर करता हूँ। कौन है, निशांत और?
मैं कॉल कर रहा हूँ सर इस बार।
हाँ अच्छा, अभिनव।
हाँ सर, अभिनव है सर।
अभिनव और
रिचा।
क्या? ओके। अरे कहाँ पहुंच गया? चलो यहाँ से भी कर सकते हैं। तो कौन कॉल कर रहा है?
I'll call it.
रिचा? अच्छा, अभिनव विल कॉल है, ठीक है। या रिचा तुमको कॉल करना है? किसको कॉल करना है?
um,
कर लो रिचा, तुम कर लो, चलेगा, कर लो।
चलो रिचा तुम कॉल करो, ठीक है। मैं फ्लिप
ठीक
कर रहा हूँ, कॉल करना।
हेड्स।
टेल्स आ गया। चलो। अच्छा, तो अभिनव
हाँ सर,
तुमको
टॉप।
डिसाइड करना है तुम कौन सा साइड लेना चाहते हो।
हाँ
अगला टॉपिक क्या है? अगला टॉपिक
सर, व्हाइट बॉक्स वर्सेस ब्लैक बॉक्स।
वर्सेस ब्लैक बॉक्स, ठीक है।
ठीक है, सो द इंस्ट्रक्टर टीम विल टॉक अबाउट व्हाइट बॉक्स।
अच्छा, व्हाट वाज द एंटायर टॉपिक? फिर से बताना।
हाँ, व्हाइट बॉक्स वर्सेस ब्लैक बॉक्स विच विल सर्वाइव वाइड स्प्रेड मार्केट अडॉप्शन।
अच्छा, ठीक है। ठीक है गाइस, थैंक्स अ लॉट। ठीक है,
या, थैंक
ऑल
यू।
द बेस्ट।